the PNAR. This is the PNAR 15F V2 by Alex Kermy. There's the front, got the shroud, mag well, you got the bolt lock, mag releases, select fire switch, rev trigger, grip, and the stock with its adjustment knob and the battery in the bottom. It is a flywheel blaster, that's why it has an F in it, PNAR 15F, printed, not an AR 15F for flywheel. It is a select fire, as you can see. It has a safe, semi, and full auto modes. It's a lot like the BK1 and the BK2S, which have been out for a while now, which is why we kind of delayed the work and the release on the PNAR, because functionally the BK1 is very similar, even in the color as far as the yellow goes, but also in the function of having that select fireness, and the FPS is very similar. That doesn't mean that the BK1 is overall better than the PNAR. It's a little more accurate, but the PNAR has a lot of more features that the BK1 does not have, so we're gonna release it anyway. I should say about the designer Alex Kermy, shout out to him. Every time we'd ask him a technical question or anything, he would always respond with a well thought out answer, like a whole paragraph in the email. So a great guy to work with, very receptive and responsive. Go through the features. It is a select fire, so semi and full auto, flywheel blaster, so it's powered by a LiPo battery. It has compatibility out of the box with straight Talon worker magazines and 18R magazines. So it is another flywheeler, but it's got select fire, which is cool, and it doesn't have, it's not brushless, so it's a little bit cheaper on the electronic side of things go. Overall though, there is a lot of work that goes into it, so it is an expensive blaster, but it is cheaper compared to brushless, and so that's kind of why I think it still has a niche that's valuable for those who don't really want to do brushless. This is just kind of solder and you go, no programming and no expensive sourcing to look into. There is a lot of hardware that goes into it, so it's not necessarily an easy build. It's definitely one of the most complicated builds if you're a new builder. The amount of soldering and filing and fine tuning, there's a lot of fine tuning. Hopefully we can get that fine tuning down. So feature overview, again, you have the quick swap muzzle. You have the option for a dual stage or single stage cage, and all that takes is to swap out this lower motor cover, the 2 pins, and these 4 screws, and you can swap from dual stage to single stage, so pretty quick, which is a fun feature. It is flywheel, so you have plenty of rail on top. You've got genuine M-lock here on the front. Of course, you've got the charging handle with this lock release that some ARs have, so you can have that you can pull it from the side there or pull it like this. Then you, of course, have the actual reciprocating bolt. It doesn't go all the way open like a NERF, like an airsoft AEG, I'm told. So I've heard a lot of airsoft kind of has that half cycling bolt as well, but it also has a bolt lock on this side where if you press the bolt lock down and then open the bolt, it'll stay open until you then reset that bolt lock, which is, again, more gimmicky fun stuff. It has a paddle mag release on the bottom. And of course, it also has a button mag release on the side. So both gravity drop out, that's fun. Then of course, the functional features, rev trigger, main trigger, you got your semi, or your safe, your semi at a 45 degree, and then your full auto all the way back, but really anywhere after the semi, you get full auto. Then the stock, he has a buffer tube stock option now that you can get, which just slides into the back here. So you've got your standard adjustable bar stock with a battery in it. Then you can put in an adapter for a buffer tube stock if you want to opt for more like a real steel stock hardware, but you'd still need a place to store the battery. So unless you're using a really thin and small and skinny battery like they use in the AR stocks or the BK1, this stock is definitely better for your more rectangular batteries. You already have the stock hub going on, so it's not like you're gonna have a really nice slim platform anyway, but it's pretty good size, pretty good, perfect feel. It's got a great feel. Overall, let's see, it's pretty thin as well. It's powered by dual stage micro motors and flywheels. So we're talking FTW or baby Banshee motors for you band blasters out there. There's some other wheels as well, but generally speaking, it's gonna be the micro flywheel size, which means the performance is limited. Single stage, you're getting maybe 100 FPS to 130 FPS. Dual stage, with that same wheel combo, you could get 140 FPS, 150 FPS. This actually has the Band Blasters 74K dual stage motors with their baby Banshee. So this is hitting up to 190 feet per second. That's about its peak as far as I'm concerned, but it wouldn't be too hard to make new cages for it as well. So it starts off at that pretty low, good HVZ range for single stage and dual stage with this setup, getting 180s, 190s, depending on the dart. And so I think that's pretty much all you need there in a flywheeler. I guess structurally, some of the cons is because it is printed very linearly this way, I believe. Most of this upper area is held on just by these bolts. And so it can be weak, I think, across it. So if I were to bend this, it could break in the middle. Not too bad, you know, print a new upper and you're good to go. But that is a con of 3D printed blasters, of course. So the basic con of flywheelers and 3D printed stuff is durability and loudness and stuff like that. And then you have some things that were kind of difficult is the nut fit in the shroud. It can be really tight, some filing in those grooves, the supports. It's not designed for printing, optimized, I should say, where there's quite a bit of supports. Or you could rotate them and compromise some structural integrity. So again, it comes down to your prints, your support settings and what have you. Then the mag release took a lot of filing to drop smoothly, going front to back. You have to get the pusher lined up just right or you get too much friction, so then you can widen those holes and file the bolt and get that functioning fine. And then you get this, the bolt lock itself, I had to do a ton of filing on to make sure that it would fully set the bolt and then reset. Otherwise, you have to push it down super hard on the button and then you can't quite get it to lock back. So, you know, get it actually functional. Also, the return spring of the solenoid is also what determines how hard or how fast it resets. So depending on your solenoid and your supplier, where you get it, what spring you use, and how worn the spring is, you can get varying results on your solenoid. So we're gonna be sourcing some aftermarket springs to match with the default solenoid or get custom solenoids made. And then the charging handle, to get that to lock back, you have to get, you know, the angle right and getting the print quality, and you got to get the lever to travel all the way forward, so we had to modify some files there. The springs, I believe, that he intended to be used, I felt like a lot of them were really weak, like this lock here, if it's going too hard, then it can actually bounce open, and that's not ideal. So had to modify some holes and some print settings, some files to get this to sit back all the way. All of the parts in the trigger group, so the trigger comes out with a lot of support. It's got to post-process that, make it smooth. The trigger arm had a lot of trouble with being either too short or too far to the right, so how to adjust that. So your trigger arm position, a lot of print quality stuff. But I think other than that, I've figured out all the little things that need to be done, and then the pins being too tight. It does have quick takedown, like I mentioned in the magwell. So by just popping 2 pins, boom, you can get access to the whole thing, and that's how you swap out the cage. Super easy, 1 connector, and then you would take out, there's 4 screws, do single stage if you want. You could swap out the lower thing here with these 2 pins. I made a little access. You can pop the pins out from the bottom, and then you can see the whole function. So kind of like a real split top AR or whatever have you. You can see that on safe, it doesn't go all the way. Then on semi, it goes all the way, and then when the bolt comes forward, it resets the sear. And then on full auto, you can see how it works, where it'll just like stay down. Oop. On semi, there you go. On full auto, it just stays down and then just repeatedly cycles, which is way cool. So it's got like a real mechanical locks and sears in it, which I think is really cool. So like it's got a whole trigger group and having a similar function, I guess, to like real steel is neat. The cycling itself with the switches is controlled by some wiring in the grip with a custom circuit board, which you just solder some components on. It's not that bad if you know what you're doing. Just pay attention. But that being said, yeah, it is like it's got the mechanical sear and stuff, but it is like a electrical mechanical system. So it's not purely mechanical. So you do have some soldering, but it's not purely like brushless, where it's like counting your cycles. So all it is 2 switches, and that's how it functions. It is solenoid driven as well, so you get that haptic feedback or like the actual kind of like recoil feel. So it is solenoid driven, so you do have the fun clacky clack clack as the bolt cycles. So you have that fun clack sound. So solenoid driven, the solenoid actually just actuates the bolt. The pusher itself is still spring powered, released by the sear. So it's a cool hybrid system. So again, like a really cool build, super cool, practical. I'll leave it up to you depending on how you like to run your play style, but definitely fidget toy prop kind of status there with all its functions and features. So the battery connects here, you plug it in, the bolt cycles, and then you can semi-auto, then full auto. Like, you don't understand how much work it takes to get something like that to be reliable like it is now. Then bolt lock, so you can push the bolt lock down. Bolt stays open till you close it. Then of course the rev. Not terrible for a dual stage, a micro flywheel dual build, because most of the smaller wheels need higher RPMs. We're talking Merlins or Fangs on 3S, and so that's not too bad. Not great, but it is good. So it's a standard rev then fire. If you fire without revving, you will get a jam, and then you will have to clear that jam somehow. I guess that's one con, is there's not a fast way to clear the jam. I've been spoiled with some other builds that have quick access. This one does not. You've got your semi-auto. You can auto rack the bolt just for fun. So yep, got a dart loaded in there. And then semi-auto, 195, 187, 180. You can hear how hard that's hitting that back wall. 192, then full auto. Oh, that's so satisfying. It's so powerful on the FPS, it almost has recoil. You can feel the dart going through, and then you can feel the solenoid cycle. It's way cool. You do technically lose some FPS. It's got a pretty tight bore barrel. But even with that FPS drop, we're shooting almost 200 FPS. And so without that barrel, you maybe get 5 or 10 more FPS, depending on how things are aligned. And then I hope one day, it doesn't have an inline D car, but one day I'm sure Alex or somebody will come up with one to make all flywheelers super accurate, and that'll make me very happy, because I was very impressed with the first bike B car flywheeler I shot. It was very well dialed in. Being a semi-prototype, these wheels are loud. Probably louder than they normally be because they were repurposed, reused motors. It's prototype, so take that into consideration. So one more mag, you've got a 15 round mag. Either button drop or your pedal drop. So semi-auto, 125, full auto. Hey guys, hopefully you found that quick video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel to find more content like it, where we do new releases about high power Nerf and high performance Nerf. We'll talk about different mod guides, troubleshooting guides, gameplay, everything high power Nerf related. So if that interests you, please like and subscribe, or if you saw this video and felt it was helpful, then do that the same thing. Please leave us a review, or if a friend shared it with you, we ask you to pay it forward and do the same thing. So share this post, show it to a friend, or leave a review. That would help us amazing to get the word of mouth out there to the rest of the world about how awesome Nerf is as a hobby. So help us grow the hobby by sharing this. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time in the next time's video. Keep nerfing.